Hi everyone, Emma here. I'm so excited to show you. Take a look at this. So we're going to make this bracelet. So how we're going to do it is I'm going to show you how to bezel this beautiful Rivoli that I got from Beebeecraft. So they are 14 millimeter Rivolis, 50 of them for $3.09. What? They are really beautiful, as you can see. So I'm going to show you how to do the one, and I've done this in other videos, but I'm going to go ahead and do it again. These are some of my most favorite bracelet designs, is the Rivolis with a different kind of pattern in the front, and then attached with just some pearls. Now these are gold colored Drux, 6 millimeter, in case you're wondering. And this here is a fold over clasp that I got online. I have checked Beebeecraft. I have to review what clasps they have, but they do have some really beautiful clasps there as well. So yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to do bezel one and then attach it. So then everything else is just repetition. So super cool. This fits my wrist size, which is uh, a, like a 6-inch, I think. So you might need an extra Rivoli for yourself. Or you could use bigger beads if you didn't want to repeat it any more times. But I'll show you, this bezeling technique is so quick, so easy. It's one of my favorites. So yeah, let's take a look. We'll just move those off to the side. You're going to need some thread. You can, for bezeling, you can use Nymo thread or 1G. I am using Dragon thread number 6. I just like, it's green. I just like the strength of it for tightening, but you really don't need. I've made some other bracelets just using 1G thread. So need some scissors to cut your thread. You need a clasp, and you need your whatever beads you're using. You can use fire polish, whatever. And then I'm using Silk Light Gold 11O Rokai beads, and they are kind of rounded and small, so they're really nice to do this pattern. And then some 15 seed beads to pull it together. So I'll just show you the back. That's what the back looks like, and this is what the side looks like. So this is really nice because I like this pattern. This is not a peyote stitch. This is a modified right angle weave, so everybody can do right angle weave, and the modified part is one simple step. So I'm going to show you how to do that. You're not going to believe it. It's so easy, but you're basically, you can see the right angle weave. You get this diamond pattern. So depending on how you do it or what you put it on, this area here actually looks like filigree on jewelry. So that's why I like it so much, and it's super fast. So let's get started. So thank you so much to Beebeecraft. This is a collaboration with them, and you can use the coupon code EMMA10 to get 10% off of your order, and orders over $25 is free shipping. And what else do I need to tell you? The links will be in the description for all the items. If you can also go back to the unboxing for this collaboration. I had a lot of crystals and stuff like that, and there's a lot more videos to come. So, and I put that out. You're probably only going to need about this much. A habit of putting so much out. See if those are enough. I'm using a size 10 needle. That's all you need. You don't have to get anything bigger than that. And let's get the camera closer to me. So I did take a wingspan. Definitely don't need a wingspan now that I think of it. But there it is. So let's start with these 11 O's. You're going to pick up 4 11O beads like that. Let me bring these guys up here so you can see. So for these, take these down to the end, but leave a tail so you can hang on to and weave in at the end. So let's grab these like that, and we're going to go through just the one at the beginning, up through the bottom. That, and that's what you're going to end up with. Let me show you here. This is what you're going to end up with. So now, this is why I say to grab enough thread to wrap around your fingers so you can hold your beads like that. This is how you're going to hold it because you want the position to be like this. And as we build it, I'll show you. So now what you're going to do, normally when you do right angle weave, you take your thread and you move it into this bead and then come around. What we're doing is we're leaving it in the bottom. And the other part to right angle is you come to this one, this becomes a combined bead, which it will become a combined bead, but it doesn't subtract from the beads that you're adding. And that'll make more sense when I show you the process. So pick up 4 beads. There's 4 beads. You're going to go from the top down into that side bead. So you remember, this is your thread here, so it's going to make it into a loop right away. So watch, like that. Okay, but now what we're going to do, I'm just going to hang on to that one bead there, is we're going to take our thread and we're going to go past that first bead and then go through the bottom of this bead and this bead only. And don't worry if it pops out of place. Once we pull it tight, it will cinch it into the position that we need it. So there, this is what you're going to have. So let's review. We have the first 4 that we added into a circle. Then we added 4 more. We took our thread was coming out of here. We took and brought them around through this combined bead, but then we skipped that one. So we have little diamond pattern with 1 bead in between. And this is going to be your bottom all along. And then you can see these top ones. So if you're counting, and I'm going to tell you right now, a 14mm Rivoli is 14 of these sets, plus an attachment to bring it all in a circle. So you can count these top beads when you're going along. So we're going to keep doing this. I won't be explaining it as much, but I'll do it a few more times until you get it. So there's 4 beads. We are coming out of the bottom here. We're going to go up through the top of this side bead like that. Like that. And hang on to your beads. Skip the first one with your thread and then go through the next one here like that. It will get easier to do that, skipping that middle bead when there's more attached here. So you can hang on to it. Okay, pick up 4 11 O's. There's 4. So we're coming out of here. We're going to go down through the top of this side bead. Hang on to your beads. Okay, skip it over that first one. Then go through the next one like that. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can see how fast this is. It's can't say it enough. It's my favorite. So coming out of the side here, we're going to go down through the top of that side bead. skip the first bead, go through the next bead, like that. And you can pull them tight. There you go. So let's bring some of these over here. And we just keep going like that till you have 15. That. There. And I apologize for my fingers. It is a bit hard. I actually practice doing, you know, where my fingers are so that you can see it on camera. But sometimes it's hard. You kind of have to hold on to the beads. Tighten. There's 4. Go down through that bead. And skip the next one. Let's see if that'll skip it. So yeah, I think the best way to skip that bead is to put your thread across it. So let's try that again. Okay, we got 4. Go down. That and skip the first one. Go through here. That. Let's count how many we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we need 6 more. There. Like that. 5 more. I feel like Jane Fonda. 2 more. 3 more. I used to do the Jane Fonda workout. I had one of her videos on VHS, and it was actually an hour and a half long, and it was high intensity cardio for sure. And I remember we had a gym teacher. I felt like she maybe was in that position. This was high school, just because they couldn't find anywhere else to put her, kind of thing. A lot of our phys ed was unsupervised, and we had like equipment like uneven bars and parallel bars, and like people could get seriously injured on that stuff if you didn't have an expert showing you how to use them. She'd just sit in the corner while we were doing stuff. So okay, I thought I had too many. She said to us if there was anything we wanted to do, we could do it. So I mentioned it to her, and she's like, "Yeah, bring it in. We'll do the class." My classmates were so pissed at me after that because we were dead. It was a serious workout. Let me double check how many we have here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We need 2 more. Yeah. That kept me healthy. I got a membership at a gym in the 90s, I think it was, in Toronto, and my girlfriend asked me to go in with her. If you brought a friend with you, each of you paid $100 and got a year membership. Can you imagine? $100 year membership downtown Toronto. and it was women only gym. And I say that excitedly because I don't know if you've ever worked out in a gym, like the guys are just annoying. They they sit and talk all the time, and they, lift weights maybe once or twice and then sit on the bench, and you're like, "Excuse me, can you move so I can do my workout?" Okay, so this is what we have. Let's double check the count. In any bezeling, I emphasize make sure you have your count right. You'll get working on it and you're like, why is this not working? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So now what we want to do is we want to create one of these, but we need to create it so it incorporates this bead here as well as this side here. So just follow my steps. You don't have to figure it out. I'm gonna hold it this way, okay? Because we're gonna pick up that end bead there. So if you remember, we have a bead here and a bead here on the bottom. Bring it up a bit. Bead here and a bead here. So we need 2 beads before we pick up the side bead on this side. So pick that up. I'll try and keep it on my fingers so you can see what I'm doing here. Okay. And of course, we need a bead to sit here. So pick up 1 bead. You're coming out of this side bead here. This side bead here. And if you look, I'll just create some space so you can see. We want to come down this side bead here. Like that. With that 1 bead on there. Okay. We'll bring that together again. Just ignore that thread. Okay. So bring it together. Now remember, when we added 4 beads on, we needed to skip this first bead. So you're going to take your thread, move it over, and then go through this bottom bead. But if you see here, we're missing a bead, so we're going to add a bead there. But in the first place, we're going to go through this one, like that. There's my needle. So let's just make sure that that thread is over. Let's hang on to that there. Then go through this bead. This is probably the most complex part, but if you follow exactly, first step is add the 2 beads, pick up the side bead from the tail, add 1 bead, pick up the side bead from the side you were working on, then skip the first bead, and we already went through, we skipped this bead here, then we went through the bottom bead. Now we need to attach a bead here. There's just 1 bead missing. So now we're going to work on the bottom side. So I'm going to get my needle. If you look, this looks like peyote. So you got a low bead, a high bead, low bead, high bead. We want to come out of a high bead. So we're adding that missing bead and we're going through a low bead. We're going to go through the next high bead and we're going to pull everything tight. It's going to create a loop. Again, just ignore your tail. It kind of gets in the way, but try to ignore it. So that's it. Pull it tight. That one's a bit loose. Okay, so remember this was not tied in a knot, so it is moving too. So that's why this one here is a bit loose, or this one. If you find something's loose, pull on both sides, and it will snug it up. There, this one here. This is the one we're working on. So now, so you see what I mean? I didn't need all those beads. Shame on me. So let's get to the 15 O's. So again, this is the bottom side. You can hang on to your thread. And we're just going to go around in a circle and we're going to add a 15-0 in the low spots. So we're coming out of this high bead. There's a little section here. We got our 15-0. We're going to go to the high bead, the next high bead, and pull it tight. And just do that all the way around for the first row. So you coming out of this bead, we're skipping a bead, and then going through a high bead with our 15-0. That. Pick up a 15-0, coming out of this bead, skip that one, go through the next one. And just keep turning it on your finger. Just like that. Yeah, so the membership, I ended up getting a membership with my girlfriend. We both worked at the same women's shelter, and we worked shifts, and this club had aerobic classes running all day and night. So if I worked a night shift, I would go before my shift to kind of prepare myself, my headspace. It was a really stressful job. And I was just out of high school doing it. So, and then after the night shift, I would stop in. Like I could walk to it. It was like 2 blocks from where I worked. And I lived really close to where I worked as well. So then get finished and then I'd go home. I'd go back to the gym and do another of these aerobic classes. Do you know it was funny too? I don't know why this was. I should do a search on YouTube or online. They had a policy that you had to wear leotards. And at the time, like yoga pants and workout tights and stuff like that were not readily available. So it was like super expensive. And I'm thinking, I'm not wearing like tights and then shorts on top of that, right? But like a lot of women wore like the kind of bathing suit style bodysuit and then the tights underneath for their workouts. I think it had to do with sweating so much that I don't know. I mean, I used to do hot yoga and I actually volunteered at the yoga studio in exchange for free yoga. And I would have to go in after a class and mop up the floor because it was just drenched with people's sweat, like puddles. I'm like, really? So funny. So I guess maybe that's why they had it. So I'm going around, and as I'm going, I'm tightening it. You can see it's kind of rounding a bit, and we're almost back at the same spot because you can see your tail thread. Go that. Yeah. I was so hyper back then. Yeah, it was the best deal I ever got. I guess for them it didn't really matter because they like there was no limit to the class sizes. So, and there was like a lot of people. Okay, so this is the last one. And then we're going to step up to the first 15-0 that we added, that one there. And then we're going to go one more time around on this side. So our thread's coming out of this bead. We're going to step up to this 15-0 that we added. And then we're going to add 15-0s in between 15-0s. So that's when you're really going to see it cinch together because you think an 11-0 is in between. It's quite a space, but that's what's going to hold your Rivoli on to the bezeling. So go through the next 15-0 like that. And you can tighten it now, or you can do a few, then tighten. It's up to you. So pick up a 15-0. Coming out of this one, we're going to go into this one. Just do that all the way around. Trying to think of some of the funny things with working out and stuff like that. I'm thinking about gym class. When we were in grade school, we used to play murder ball in French. So I went to French schools. This is funny. So in French, it's called ballon chasseur, which means ball hunter. That's even, I don't know which is worse, murder ball or ballon chasseur. Oh, I'm gonna hunt you down. But yeah, so we'd have, if you've ever seen like spoofs on murder ball, we'd have two sides, and they actually had the painted lines in the schoolyards. It was just basically two rectangles attached, and then you'd stand behind the line on one side and there was people on the other side, and then the midline, so you could go up and around in that triangle or rectangle. But yeah, so one person had the ball and was trying to hit people, and oh my gosh, they were serious, smacking you in the head with the, I mean, the balls were kind of soft-ish. Oh, that's too funny. We used to play Jumpsy. Let me know if you remember that when you were kids. So we used to play Jumpsy. So when the postman, and it was back then, it was always a postman. I don't think I ever saw a woman postal carrier. But we used to ask him for his thick rubber bands that held the letters together. So they would get used to us. So when we'd see them coming, they'd hand over all their rubber bands, and we'd make a big jumpsy with it. Yes, we played that over and over. So at this point, you can leave your thread inside, or you can take it and hold it back when you're adding the next. And I'm trying to decide what I want to do with that. Let me hold it up. Go to the next bead. If you're not sure where you're at, because you're going to actually pass your thread, just remember you should have two 15-0s side by side. So if you look, there's two here, so this one's missing one. So we're going to add, this will be the last one. So our thread is it coming out? Oh, that's the tail thread, sorry. So thread's coming out of this 15-0. We're going to go to this 15-0. Like that. And that is our final one for the bottom. You can see, look at how lovely it is. How easy is that? And then you see the sides. So see what I mean about this kind of filigree look to it? It's like a little crown. So now let's just double check to make sure our crystal will fit in there, that we have the right tension. And it is. Flip it over so you can see. So you can actually do this way too. And I have done some designs with it this way. And this will kind of round out when we go to the other side. But yeah, you can see both ways is lovely. So at this point, I'm not going to put my crystal in. I'm going to get the front part in place, and then we can pull it tight. So we need to move our thread from that 15-0 up, and what I like to do is just go on an angle the way the beads are going. So the next bead in that place would be here. So you go through the first two like that. Just remember, because these are right angle weave and not peyote, that the next bead is, the hole's going to be upright. It's not going to be on an angle. So you can just go up that one. There, and then go through this one. And now you're ready to add the front. So this is what you have. So to add the front, what you're going to do is you're coming out of one of these sticking out beads. You're going to skip the next one and you're going to go through this one, but we're going to add 5 50-0s to this. And that'll give us a little triangle. And then when we come around for our second row, we are going to pick up the middle bead. So there's 5. So we're coming out of here, skip that one, go through the next one like that. It's going to look weird this way. It's not going to, especially if you're like, it's going to sit funny. So don't worry about it, just as long as you skipped your middle one. Go to the next one, you're going to add 5 50-0s. So there's 5. So now you're coming out of this bead. You're going to skip the next sticking up bead and you're going to go through the following one. Just that one. I'll hold it this way now so we can see where we're at. So again, you just do that all the way around. So there's 5. We are coming out of this one, skip that one, go through the next one. Don't worry if it's loose, because that's all going to get tightened up. So pick up 5. Coming out of here, skip that one, go through the next. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Coming out of here, skip one, go through the next. We used to participate in track and field when we were in grade school. And so we would get invited to these events through, like, all the city was having the schools compete. We didn't have, again, we didn't have a coach. We didn't have a gym teacher that was, like, we didn't have a gym teacher, period, in grade school. You know, it was your own teacher would take like an hour or half an hour of time in the gym kind of thing. So yeah, we'd compete, and it's like, I can remember getting a going as hard and as fast as I could to compete. I had not trained in like a sprint and end up hurting myself. It's like, of course you hurt yourself. You didn't train. You didn't warm up. Okay, this is the last 5 here. There. So we're coming out of this one, skipping that one, and we know this is the last one because there's beads on it. So now you want to go through the 3 first beads of the 50-0s that we added. And now we're going to add our Rivoli, because we're going to bring this tight. So we're going to add our Rivoli. You could probably do a few of those little peaks before you added the Rivoli, but it sits in there fine. So now what we're going to do is we're going to attach all the peaks together. We're going to put 2 50-0s in between each of them. So there's 2. So you can see I'm in this middle bead here. If you go to the next one, we want to, there's 1, 2, 3. So this is the middle bead of 5. We're going to pick up that one and just that one. Like this. Let's show you what it looks like. So it's going to start to pull these together. Pick up 2. Pick up the middle bead of the next one. Like that. So we used to play softball all the time. I would even say we used to play baseball because, you know, it depended on what ball we had, what we were going to play. And there was like nobody telling us we couldn't do it, so we would, you know, play baseball. And yeah, we competed when we were in grade school. And we made it to the finals. We didn't have uniforms. The other schools all had uniforms. The school that we played against were so upset that we made it to play against them. They were cheating. How do you cheat in baseball? In grade school? Interesting, yeah. But the umpire was, I don't know who the umpire was, but we suspected they were playing for the other team. And actually, I think I remember when we got to that point, we hadn't started playing them yet. We knew how good they were. We said to the teacher, "There's no way we can play this school. Like, we've never trained stuff." She's like, "You made it this far. You're gonna win." Like, so I'm just starting to pull it tight, but you don't have to. You can wait till it's all in there. So yeah, we gave them a run for their money, and it wasn't until the final. I think we were coming in for a home run, and the umpire called that it wasn't, like, that we got tagged. It wasn't safe. Oh, we were devastated. We were like bawling our eyes out and freaking out. Oh yeah, I think the next day, like, the principal came and talked to us, like, about being poor losers. I'm like, but they were cheating. The umpire called a bad call. How come you guys don't understand? Okay, so this is the last one, and it's a bit confusing where your middle bead is, but if you take a look, this is the one here. So like if you go from, we're coming out of this one here. We want to be coming out of this one here. So if you look at this bead here, there's your 11-0. Count 1, 2, 3. There's your bead. So that's what you want to pick up. And you can go through the next 2 and pointed one as well, because we are going to go through it a second time. So you can see it's all kind of all over the place. You pull, 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 pull. Did we miss one? What the heck? We missed one. I was too busy talking. Sometimes it's just the line is hooked. Looks like I went through all of these. Okay, let's take this off and pull it out at that section. I'm just trying to see. Yeah, let's see if we can find the 2 that, it looks like I added the 2 and went through all the beads instead of. Let's see if I can get the thread here. Actually, I should be able to. There it is. went through the, looks like I added 5 beads instead of, yeah, that's what I did. So let's take these off. That was right at the beginning. So there you go. The simplest designs can get messed up here. So let's put this back on. Okay, that in there. Oh, that's the wrong thread. Here we go. So we added 2, we went through the middle bead. So we need to add 2 here and go through the middle bead. Did I? You know, I think I picked up 3 beads. Oh, picked up 4. How did I do that? Because I added 2. I left 2 on, that's what it is. There we go. Now we have to go through. There. Pick up 2. Pay attention, Emma. Go through the middle bead. There. Through the middle. Then when we got to high school, my sister and I went to a private school. They had tryouts for, I think it was softball. And I think I tried out. My skills on the bases, like for catching, wasn't that great. Although I was a good hitter. I could hit the ball every time and out of the park. And my sister used to tease me. She said, "It's too bad they don't have pinch hitters in high school." Because, yeah, I could hit the ball every time. I have really uncanny hand-eye coordination. Okay, so that's it. You can leave it somewhat loose like this to create the little kind of star pattern or a sun, and that was the idea behind this. I like the yellow as like a sun, but I am going to actually go through it all again to tighten it. So let's go through. This is pretty easy because now I'm going through the middle beads too. If you want to make this, the little part in the middle into a circle, when you go around this time, you can skip the middle beads, like the pointy beads, and it will give you a circle. Just going through a few at a time. You can see it's really coming out nice. So coming out here, go through. When Jen and I went to Cuba, one of the resorts we went to, the games they had was they had archery, and they had I don't know what they called it, rifle range. So they had, it was like a BB gun, but like a shotgun kind of shape to it, and then targets. And we were there for 2 weeks. I won every night. To the point that one of the wives that was in the pool, And I was talking to one of the wives. She goes, "Oh, you're the one." She says, "I have to tell you, my husband is in the military, and he went to play one day, and he said, and of course, I'm wearing a bathing suit and flip-flops." I grabbed the rifle, bing, 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 hit the target every time, dead center. And I wasn't leaning on the fence that they had set up. I was actually doing it from, like, my elbows bent at my hips kind of thing, right? And she said he was so embarrassed. He's like, "I'm never going back there." That was so funny. Okay, so this part is done. So now you can just bring your thread out and tie it off somewhere, or you can use it to attach to the other bead, but I already have a thread attached to the bracelet, so we'll leave it at that. I'll just tie these guys off, and I'm going to take this out here somewhere and tie it off. Just because of the knot, I'm going to put 2 tiny little knots, but you don't want that to get stuck in your 15 O's. So let's just there. So I'm actually going to start the knot here. So grab a thread bridge like that and wrap it around twice. Hold it, pull your needle through. So you can see all the thread I have. I didn't need that much thread, probably half of a wingspan. Then just go through the next bead, next 1 or 2 beads, and pull it so the knot is hidden. I'm actually going to go through here, and I'm going to come down the back and take my thread through the 15s because it'll hold it in place. Let's do it this way. Because they're tinier. There, like that. There, that one's done. Take my thread off. Yeah, there's quite a bit left, so you could easily do half a wingspan on one of these. And I'm going to pull on that one to make sure, because that was the one that was the beginning, so it's actually not tied in anywhere. So let's fix that. Get rid of this thread. So we are coming out of this bead, so I'm just going to get a thread bridge right where I'm at. 1, 2, and through. Yeah, we used to play softball, baseball in the schoolyard. There was a school the next street over from us. So of course, when we're out of school, they are too. So the place was empty, so we could play. They had basketball courts and everything. It's great. We played basketball. We did everything. Skipping. Okay. There is your lovely love. So let's move those over. And we don't need these beads. Let's move these guys over as well. I cannot believe, I think I bought a 250-gram bag of these, and I mean, I gave some away, but I have to look. Sometimes I have project bins that have like a whole tube inside the project bin. So I have to check those out. So let's take this. So now we're going to add our beads or pearls, whichever you're using, and attach this guy. So I have it ready to go in the spot that I want it. So how I decided to pick that spot is you can put your bead anywhere you want. You can put just one bead if you want, like a larger. These I think are 8 millimeters. Let me double check. So no, these are 6. So let's take a look. If we look at the kind of diamond pattern, I have it coming out of this bead on the side, and because I'm adding them all the way along, what I do is I will, when I go to attach the next one, I bring it across to have an idea where it's going to be, especially the second bead. You want the same spacing, but I'll show you. So I'm attaching it to this side bead. You're going to end up with a middle one and then another, and your second bead is going to go through this side bead, but I'll show you when we get there. So I'm in the position I want to be in a side bead because I'm going to kind of go in a circle, and I don't want my holes showing. So first of all, I want my holes to attach from one side to the other side like this. If I were to attach my bead this way, then I'd have a whole bunch of thread showing. So that's, I have seen people do it that way and they end up adding like seed beads and stuff. This way you can add it directly. So just go through your bead, like that, pick up your other side and take a look at your, just move this a bit here so that's centered correctly. Okay, so you can pick any one, but it's got to be an outside side of that little kind of diamond or cross pattern. You see what I mean? Okay, so now I am going to go back through the bead, and we're going to do this twice on each bead. It will tighten it. I'm going to leave it open so you can see what I'm doing, and then we'll tighten it all. So now when we came out of this bead, we came out of the top. We want to make sure we go through the bottom, and that will affect how your bead sits on there as well. So that's why I do it that way. So like that. So now you can just pull it in. The other thing that I would recommend if you're using this method is to reinforce that little diamond pattern, and I did that on this side. I noticed these guys were moving when I was pulling it tight. You see how they're moving a bit? Actually, they're not too bad. So now we're going to go back through the bead. Oh, there. And you can tighten it now, and you can see it's pretty tight. So now we are going to go through the top of the bead, down, go through the bead, so it gets a little tougher to get past that bead on this second pass, but it's not impossible. So now we're going to move our thread over to the other side to add the second bead. So let's see, actually we're going to come down through the bottom of that bead since we came out of the top on the other side. Flip that like that. So now just do your bead path in that pattern of the, I apologize, I don't know why I'm moving over there. So we're going to go through this one. Remember I said there was one of those shapes in the middle. So go through this one. So we're basically doing a figure 8. That. Then you might be able to get through the 2 next beads. Oh, that one's tight. Let's see if that'll go through. Okay, let me do one at a time. I think I did reinforce this, that's why it's tight. Okay, so if you take a look, so now we're going to add the second one, but we need to be, just double checking here. Yeah, so we need to be in this one. That. Pick up your bead, put it on. Then if you look, you're going to have, so this is where this one's attached. You can see there's one bead there and then this, the third bead. So you're going to do the same on this side. So there's one bead here which is attached, then there's a bead which is the space, and then this is the one we want to go through. There. Now we're going to go back through the bead. And unhook this. And I was just checking, I came out through the top of that bead, so I'm going to go through the bottom. That. Pull it tight. Go through the bead again. I'm going to go through the top. Well, it's the bottom now, but we're going to go through the bead. We are going to go a third time just because we want to add our clasp to this section here. This guy's not liking it here. There we go. There. So let's go through here. Like that. Pull it tight so it's nice and secure. So now we can just decide which, I'm going to go through that initial bead that we used, but then I'm going to make my way to this side. That. So you see we're coming out of this one, so I'm just going to go through that little star pattern. And now I'm just going to kind of figure eight across here. I have done sections where this is hooked here, where I've gone through the two bottom ones, those two, to get across to this side. So we'll see how that goes. It's like at this point, this stuff is variable. You just want to make sure you get your attachments so that they're lined up. So where are we coming out? Let's do the bottom. I find the bottom is just a little faster than going around in circles. Coming out here. So let's go through here. Yeah. That so that I'm not out of frame. Okay. So now we can just grab these two like that and do that all the way around. There. So if you had a smaller needle, like a size 12, you'd get through these a little easier. But you can see it's actually pretty easy. So through this one. And I'm going to take a look. So if you're not sure where to go through, just take your needle and go across like this. So we're through this side bead, which means we want to be let me see if that one matches up. That one seems a little, let's try it from this side. Okay, there's it. Yeah, I think I've gone, yeah, I need to be in this bead and I'm over here. So let me do this, go back out of that one. And go up through this one. Now the cameras. It's amazing camera position. Okay, so this is like super simple for adding a clasp. So let's take a look at this clasp. So this is where the clasp attaches to the other side. So we're going to put the pearls in through here like this. Like that. So let's grab the first one like that. Take a look. So you have all these little bars on these clasps. We want the bead to fit into here, so you're going to go up through the outside like that, but then come back through that second part on the inside like this. Let me just move this over here. You can see where it's going to attach. Like that. And then the other one will go on the other side. So I am going to go through this a few times to secure it. You could also use some French wire in through your clasp if you want. I think this is pretty secure, this bracelet, so I don't worry too much about it. So I'm going to take my needle, go through that one side, and make sure you come out on the other side of the clasp. And again, just pull everything tight. So now we are going to go on the other side of this bar. So go through here, and you could probably get your needle in through that bead as well. Like that. Pull tight. So now let's flip it. So now we're going to make our way to the other side to add the other bead. So let's go through this bead to secure it. Go through. So you can see this bead here separated a bit because I've attached stuff, so we're going to go through it. That'll tighten it. And it probably went like that when we tightened this piece. You can see I did different tensions to show you. So this one was a little looser, that one's a little looser, this one's super tight, you know. So I would definitely recommend doing the same tension for all of them, but just so you know, you can adjust it however you want. There. Let me see. I'll make sure that's not too far over. So yeah, through this one. It does look like it's over a bit. But we'll see. You get to pick up your bead. So now I'm through that side bead. Pick up your bead, go through, come out the back of that clasp. And I'm gonna I think it should be over, but that looks really far on that side. I think it's just because the beads are a bit, so let's leave it there for the clasp. Okay, so let's go back through on the other side of this bar, through the bead, and you can actually go through the 11-0 too, like that. All at once, do that a second time. So go through the bead, through the clasp, come out the back of the clasp, and then go on to the other side of the clasp, the little bar, and go through the top of that bead. There. Yeah, you can see it's off. So let me, I think what I'll do is go around the loop here and just bring my thread around, bring it off to the side a bit. Let's go through here. There. So I didn't go quite one full turn. I just went to the very next, where is it, this bead here. So all it did was pull it over a bit. And go back through, and then through that bead. There, like that. There. So let's bring this. I'm going to go up and around here just because I feel like there's some space there in between the beads. So pull that tight. Go around here. Down this one. I'm going to pick up a thread bridge. And put my thread around twice. Hold on to that. Pull through. Tight. So my thread's coming out of here. I'm going to go through a couple of these beads and through my 50 nose like that, and that'll be it. There. Cut that. Like that. And take a look at what we have. So let's open this up. Oh wow. That is lovely. That's amazing. It's my fave. So there you go. That is how easy it is to make these. I made, like sitting on the couch, I made all of these last night. So there is this lovely bracelet. Thanks for joining me. Thank you so much to Beebeecraft. And don't forget, Emma 10 is 10% off of your entire order, and $25 is free shipping. They also have a YouTube program. If you have a YouTube channel with more than 100 subscribers, you could participate in the collaboration as well. If you're considering that, just let me know. I can give you tips on that and how to start things. If you're interested, I have no problem letting people know. It's so much fun. So there you go. Oh, by the way, it's Chinese New Year, so they are on a break till the 14th, so till Monday. So if you do place an order, nothing will happen until they come in on the Tuesday. So Just to let you know, there's a bit of a delay with that. And it's a huge, like, it's across the whole country. Like, there's huge travel and stuff like that. So, yeah, things will be at a standstill. Take care, everybody, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.